Hey guys, this is Silvis and today I'm going to show you some of the paintings that I did during watercolor month and give you 5 tips on how to improve your watercolor painting dramatically. So during this month I decided that instead of just painting every day, I'm going to focus on studying and continue the watercolor course I took on schoolism. I did another video where I do my homework for the first lesson and also compared watercolor papers. Be sure to check it out, link would be in the description. For those of you who are not familiar with schoolism, go check them out as well. I'm not sponsored, but I really like their videos and I really like their courses and I think they're really awesome. So without further ado, here are the top 5 tips that I knew before, but only now fully understand their importance if I want to improve my watercolor paintings. Number 1. Plan your painting ahead. I really can't stress that enough. Unlike oils or acrylics, watercolor is painted in layers that can't fully cover each other. That's pretty much like painting on thin pieces of glass that you lay on top of each other to create the final piece. That means that it's nearly impossible to erase and cover your mistakes once you made them. That's why it is very important to look carefully at your reference or the scene that you're trying to paint and analyze it before you start your painting. Break the image into different shapes and create a hierarchy going from lightest area to the darkest. When painting, it is important to keep the hierarchy in mind and follow it. Do it carefully, make sure that the values are correct at any stage of the painting. And if we're talking about values, then number 2 is start with light washes. When painting with watercolors, you should always paint from light to dark. If one of your washes is way too dark, then the entire value scale of the painting is going to shift and become darker. For example, if the sky is the lightest part of your painting and you paint it too dark, every other value you put still has to be darker, otherwise your painting will lose its sense of depth. You can try and fix this mistake by revetting the area and gently trying to remove the paint with a tissue or a cloth. Your success really depends on how wet the paint is, how staining the pigments are, and of course the quality of your paper. On the other hand, fixing a wash that is too light is much easier. You just have to apply another layer of color on top of it and you're fine. This rule is important not only for your first wash, but through the entire painting. When you're painting, always compare the value of the paint you're about to apply to the rest of the painting. Tip number 3. Read the big shapes first, then medium and small. Watercolor painting can be as detailed and realistic as any other medium, but most of the time people value it for being a quick and pretty impressionistic medium. Photos, as well as the real world, have way too many details in them, and it's very easy to get lost and spend your time rendering a small insignificant part of your landscape. When painting a scene or plein air, it's best not to dwell on small details, at least not at first. Instead, search for big shapes and after blocking them, move to medium and small size details. Use them sparingly, don't overload your painting with small details. To do it correctly, train your eyes to squeeze a lot of information into one shape by generalizing the details. Just like with all the other tips here, it's much easier said than done and requires a lot of practice. So don't get frustrated when you fail time after time, which actually brings me to my next point. Number 4. Paint, observe, repeat. Here's a small tip on how to study. After watching a tutorial, practice as soon as possible. Just watching is not enough, you should do it yourself before you forget what you've seen. If you're studying from a video, first watch the entire tutorial carefully. Afterwards, watch the tutorial again and paint along with it. That's what you see me do here. I pause the video, paint, and then watch the next step. After you've done, take a new piece of paper and paint the entire thing on your own using the finished piece from the tutorial as your reference. After every painting, you should analyze your painting and come to conclusions on how to improve your next one. When you're tired of copying, try to use your new skills on your own painting and see how you can integrate what you've just learned. This method is pretty tedious, and I know it can be very frustrating to paint the same thing over and over again, but believe me, this is a great way to learn. By the way, it's also one of the reasons why I couldn't finish this watercolor course in just 1 month. I basically did every homework assignment 3 times. Number 5. Use good art materials. And I know it's kind of controversial because a good artist can draw amazing things using a stick on a piece of toilet paper, right? Well, please don't do it. Using good quality materials won't make you great overnight, but they will keep you motivated and help you avoid a lot of frustration. Believe me, watercolors are hard and unfriendly enough to keep you occupied. You don't want to fight your materials over every little thing. If you feel like you're unable to get the results you want or follow a tutorial, it can easily be your low quality materials that stand in your way. The most important material is of course your paper. Don't be tempted to buy those cheap watercolor papers that you see in the store. It's so much better to save up some money and buy good paper, and by that I mean at least 300 grams per meter paper. And if it contains cotton, that's even better. The most expensive paper is made of 100% cotton. If you can afford it, just get it. Keep in mind that all watercolor papers, they behave differently, and you will get used to the way your paper behaves. So choose paper wisely. Paints are cheaper and less important than paper. When getting paints, you have to check how pigmented the paint is and how light fast it is. In general, choosing paints is a huge topic, and I might discuss it in a separate future video. Brushes, they're generally less important, and you can get along fine with cheap synthetic brushes. In addition to those regular brushes, when you're working with watercolors, I highly recommend getting a mop brush like the one that I use in the video. I'll put a link where I got mine in the description below, so check it out. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Please give it a thumbs up, share it with whoever it might help. And if you would like to see more, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Also, if you would like to see more videos like this one, or you have any suggestions on how to change stuff and make my channel even better, please write it in the comment section below. By the way guys, I know it's been almost a month since I uploaded my last video, and I wanted to apologize for that. I was really trying to upload videos every week, and from now on that's my intention, and I'm aiming for Friday, so hopefully I will be able to upload my next video next Friday. So hopefully you will enjoy it and wait for it. And I have some footage left, so I will stop talking and I'll let you enjoy painting. So see you next time guys, bye!